So I want to do a demo on how you could approach drawing in this circular millwork that's given to us on the PDF. This may be way more information than you want to know about it, but if you want to get it in there as precisely as possible, this is one way you can go about doing it. So in looking at this, the information that's given to us on the PDF, let me back this out just a little bit. What we have is we have a radius of 29'5", and we have the lengths of these arcs and also this middle section and these two arcs, and this appears to all be on one circle, so we can work with that kind of assumption. We also know 2 points on the plan where it hits precisely. So we know that it hits at the corner of this column, and we know that it hits at this point that's 3'11" off this wall and 26 foot 1/2 inch off of this wall. So I'm going to kind of start with these assumptions. The other thing that we do know as well is that the depth of this is 2'6", just based on the location of the corner of this column and this 17'3" dimension. So I'm going to go back into AutoCAD here. And what I've done, I've drawn a circle that has a radius of 29'5". I've offset that circle by 2'6" to get that inside dimension. I've also located that point that is the 3'11" and the 26 foot 1/2 inch is right there. And I also know that it intersects with this column. So what I did, I drew a circle out over here. And the other thing I did is I kind of eyeballed where the center of the circle was on this PDF. So let me zoom in here again. And you can see that the center of the circle hits somewhere kind of inside this wall, just a little bit to the left of that little restroom wall. So, you know, this part of it is the least precise part of the whole process, but all that I did is I just kind of kept moving the circle around a little bit, basing, and I drew this line so that I could have a reference to my center point, so that I could get the center point about right. So I kind of put that in there, and then I scooted it around until I was pretty close. You know, I'm right on this corner, and then this point I'm pretty gosh darn close on. So I called that good enough. So what I want to do next is I'm going to try to figure out, let me go back to the PDF, what I need to know is, let me back up here, the best thing to do is to find out what the angle is. I've got the length of this arc. What I need to know is where this line comes in based on the center of the circle, and this line as well. So this involves some math. And I will attach the math as well here. What I know about the circle is I know the circumference, which is the distance all the way around the circle, is 184 feet 10 inches. And I know this from AutoCAD. What I did is I selected my circle, I looked at the properties, and it's telling me my circumference. I rounded up just slightly. And what I also know is that my first arc is 24 feet long. My second arc is 5 feet long, that's the opening, and then my third arc is 18 feet 2.5 inches, and those are the dimensions that are given here. So I can try to find the angles between those. So with a circle, you can find, if you've got that length of the arc and you've also got the circumference, you can find the angle by comparing the length of the arc to the circumference. So I changed everything into inches just so I didn't have to worry about trying to work with feet and inches. I changed everything to inches. So I took this first arc, which in inches is 288 inches. So it's 288 inches is to the 218 inches, which is my circumference, as this angle that I'm trying to find is to 360 degrees, which is the whole circle. So I solved for my angle and found that it's 46.74482. So I'm going to take my, go back into AutoCAD here, and I'm going to draw a line from the center of this circle to this point where I know it intersects on this column. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a copy of this line and put it right on top of itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it by that angle. So I am going to go back and look at what my angle was. So I need that to be 46.74482. So I'm going to go back into AutoCAD. I'm going to pick one of these lines and I'm going to rotate it based on the center point. And so I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to go minus, because I'm going clockwise, 46.74482 and hit enter. So that should give me the edge of that first arc. So now what I want to do, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to go in and solve for the arc that gives me the angle that gives me the opening between the two pieces. So I'm going to take my 5 feet, which converts to 60 inches, in comparison to the circumference, as x is to 360, and I'm going to get, let me jot this one down too, 9.738503. So I'm going to do the same thing again, go back into AutoCAD. I'm going to copy this line this time because I'm going to keep working around. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to rotate it. And again, I'm going to go minus because I'm going clockwise. So minus 9.738503. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy this line, and then go back into my math sheet, and I'm going to solve for that last angle for the third arc. So I'm going to take my 18 foot 2.5, convert it to inches, so it's 218.5. And this time when I do the math, I'm going to get an angle of 35.46438. And feel free to just take these angles and use them, but I wanted to show you where I got them from. And I'm going to rotate this line that I've already copied, and I'm going to go again minus 35.46438. And then what I should be able to do is just trim. So I'm going to go into my trim. I'm going to select these lines that I've drawn, and I'm going to trim. And then I'm just going to check my arcs here just to make sure. I'm going to go into dimension, and I'm going to check my arc length. I'm going to check my first one. Whoops. Let's try that one again. And if I zoom in, I don't even really need to place it. See, I'm getting my 24 feet. And then if I do my arc length over here, I'm getting my 18 foot 2.5 inches. So then you can go from there, and you can draw in, actually this one I shouldn't have trimmed it there because it's actually on this angle, but you get the idea of, let me just do this and then go perpendicular to this one and extend. Okay, so that'll give me the line on that one. And then you can just trim off the lines from the angles. I guess we don't need to trim that one because it's, like I said, that one's on a different angle. And then you can get those pieces and then, get rid of all of your reference lines. And that should give you those two pieces of millwork that are there. So give that a try. I know it's kind of a lot of math, but like I said, I'm going to attach my math sheet as well. You can just use the angles. Draw that circle first, try to get it in the right spot, and then use those angles and rotate the lines. But I did want you to kind of understand where I had gotten that information. So give it a try. Let me know if you have questions.